Let's now turn to the weather gods and let's find out how delayed is really the monsoon. G P Sharma, President Skymet, joining in the show right now. Mr. Sharma, give us the good or the bad news because Southwest monsoon clearly seems to be behind schedule. Is it a factor of the cyclone Biparjoy, and do you think that's why it's delayed? And for how long would it be delayed, really?
It's all cyclone, Biparjoy. Okay, everything is pattern. Monsoon pattern itself is a little disturbed. Okay, normally the monsoon travels from south to north, covering peninsula, central parts, and then rain elsewhere. Okay, courtesy cyclone Biparjoy. Obviously, we had some deluge in Gujarat, then in Rajasthan. This is shifting, and possibly that will have its effect for another 2 days also before it dies down. Okay, monsoon conditions are becoming favorable for pushing it to at least eastern parts of Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand. Though the due date over the central parts is far from now. Even I will say, Mumbai, we know more than 1 week delay, but then we have to wait for more. The only good news is that at least the rains will be coming up. The rains will be coming up over the eastern parts also, and then they're taking the monsoon further. That is over parts of Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand. But the west coast, including Mumbai, possibly it may have to wait for a little longer. Yes.
Mr. Sharma, the worry is not only the delayed onset, which you're talking about, the central part is a long way away. For Mumbai as well, there's at least a week or 10 days. But it's also about the intensity. There's this growing clamor that the intensity is also weak of monsoons this time around. Is that something that you can, corroborate for us?
You absolutely are right. Okay. We had a large deficit of 55%. That was till 13th of June. But then courtesy this cyclone, some rains over Gujarat. Basically, it was Saurashtra, Kutch, and partly over Gujarat, and then traveled to Rajasthan region. Okay, these rains have brought the deficit all right. The deficit now has brought down to about 37%. But that's that has disturbed the pattern further. Okay, because you are supposed to have rains over southern parts, eastern parts, and monsoon is just about stagnant there. Nothing is happening. If you ask me, barring Saurashtra, Kutch, that's Gujarat, and Rajasthan, monsoon is highly deficit. Leave aside northeastern parts. There it keeps raining. Okay. But then elsewhere, entire South India, entire central parts, entire eastern parts, barring Punjab and northern India, entire North India, it's a highly skewed distribution, I will say. Okay, and deficiency over these parts, which I just mentioned, is about 60, 70, 80% or more, which is not a very healthy sign. And like rightly you said, intensity is low. Obviously, because the monsoon is not following its pattern the way it should. It traveled phase one from south to north. It has not happened. It is stagnant at Ratnagiri. It reached somehow again with the help of cyclone, but nothing in the interior parts. Okay, I think it is a highly, as I said, skewed distribution, but we got to wait for another 1 week. I think some system should be coming up in the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is the main driver. Okay, I expect something coming up on 24th, 25th. Okay, and then hope that it gives us some push, and then rain where it's needed. Possibly those will have. Yes.
Absolutely. Fingers and toes crossed for that. But Mr. Sharma, you also track this very closely because the agrarian economy is very, very closely linked with the rainfall. What's been the, feedback that you're getting with respect to sowing, etc.? Because that seems to be delayed. And now we are worried that the entire, inflation which was ebbing might at least take longer if the, sowing is delayed and the farmer are unhappy with the kind of rainfall pattern that we are seeing. It might impact their income levels as well.
A big dilemma for the farmers as well. A bigger challenge for them. Okay, indecisive state at the moment. What do we do? Okay, obviously because the due date of sowing is over also, even if the delayed sowing, if you talk about that, it should have been done by now. But the sowing operations are done with the surety that rains are going to come, because most of those parts, I'm telling you, grain bowl, the central parts of the country, they are rain dependent, rainfall dependent. Unless it is sure that the rains are going to come, they will not sow. They may have to go for change of cycle also, crop cycle, because normally they go for some long duration crops also. But in case the month of June nothing is happening, obviously they will look at some alternative also. That do we change the crop cycle, which takes less water, which take less time? Do they go with that? In case that happens, you see, the moment the indecisiveness is there in the agriculture sector, it directly reflects on the inflation. Obviously, it will. Okay, so it's a little difficult situation at the moment. I will not be in a position also to say as to how is it going to become better. But then only good thing is the last week of June will give us some promise of having some rains. But then there is no surety of a long term there, because El Nino, it has already showed its effect. Delayed monsoon, delayed arrival, delayed disturbed pattern, and then everything is not here. These are just the initial days. I fear that its effect will be seen even in the core monsoon months, that is July and August. Like you said, we keep our fingers crossed, but then it's not a very healthy sign. Okay, that's it.
Right. You know, the other thing also, Mr. Sharma, that I wanted to check in on, because, you know, from as per our understanding and communication with you as well, the monsoon onset has already happened in Kerala. What's the progress there like?
Very poor, very poor. Everything is taken away by cyclone. Okay, Arabian Sea, the weather systems, they always spoil the monsoon. They do very little good. That too in the initial stage when it brings the monsoon along the coast, there are nothing interiors. Okay, as I said, deficiencies to the tune of about 70-80%. Only little better over Tamil Nadu, because Tamil Nadu always goes the other way. If the monsoon is weak, they have some good rains. Okay, so they are a little better, shade better, I will say, but then nothing much is there. So this is all courtesy that cyclone, Biparjoy, which has spoiled the complete monsoon distribution, monsoon pattern, monsoon circulation, which we call. So it will take time, because remnant of that circulation storm is still there. They're still battering Rajasthan, which never saw rains in the month of June, supposed to be dust storm and thunderstorm only. It is deluge, starting with initially in the southern parts of that. Pali had deluge, then yesterday even Ajmer had very heavy rainfall. Desert areas of Jaisalmer, Barmer, they are having huge precipitation. Of course, it will shift now. They will have a little relief when it comes to parts of Madhya Pradesh now, northern parts of Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, Guna, Shivpuri. So all this pocket is going to have heavy rain today also, and then possibly tomorrow before it slows down. Okay, as I said, normal pattern to resume only after 24th, 25th, when some system forms, and that will bring the rains inside. We can expect some advancement in the monsoon, maybe today, tomorrow, day after also, but over the eastern parts, not a very strong current. But then the major push will be there. As I said, we have to wait for another 1 week.
Right.
25th onward, yes, we can expect, yes.
Sure. So from 24th, 25th onwards is the only time we'll see normalized monsoon. Mr. Sharma, we'll let you go on that note. So a bit of a somber commentary coming in. Not only the fact that the monsoon has been delayed by 7 to 10 days, there's weaker intensity, it's been highly skewed, and the farmers are struggling to make the decision of their sowing or not at this point of time.